right or from the onset. And when we're talking about setting up structures, you get to the lintels and then you get to that level where you have to set up your roof. You are always going out there, here and there, shop after shop, asking friends what would be the best roofing material that I need to have, so that we look at the question of durability, we look at the question of the weather, where it is that you are, you need to have it beautiful, and all that. So in all this conversation, it is important to have, a person who is a professional in such line to walk you through. And we are delighted to have the manager, or one of the managers of WeGo Group Limited. WeGo deals with the question of roofing, when it comes to the question of construction, and perhaps he'll be telling us whether there's something else beyond roofing that they get to do. Tom Zembei will be joining us for this very conversation. As a specialist, he will tell us, why roofing is very, very important, why you have to put extra thought when it comes to that level. That is part and parcel of finishing. And my producer says that she set up another mount right behind, just to show you how beautiful it can be if you get your roofing all proper. Right behind you, Tom, I'm sure you're wondering what we're talking about, but yes, it's good to have you this morning. I think this is the very first time on Morning Cafe where we talk about roofing in particular. I have had sessions with people who've talked about, housing. We've talked about just how you get it right in terms of finishing, what are the best structures, what are the best forms of making sure that you set up a structure. But it's on rare occasion. I mean, there's not a single time we have had, a session like this. So we are looking forward to learn so much. So. Yeah. Especially at this very time when you can not easily predict the weather. The last bit of the house is the roofing. That is the last aspect of finishing. Forget about uko ndani. This is at the heart of the conversation. So asante sana for creating time to be with us. Before we even get to that, we need to get the confidence that you're the right person to address this. So what about WeGo?
Thank you for hosting me this morning. My job basically, we deal with the roofing supplies, guttering of houses. You could do commercial, residential properties. So about WeGo Group is a company that is a little bit like 5 years old, 5 years old now, and my experience in the business is around 5 years right now. And we deal with roofing, all types of roofing. We have what we deal with mabati. I think this is mabati here. We also have what we call the stone-coated tiles, which most people call DECRA. We have what we do with the guttering using UPVC, and we have what we call the thermal insulation materials. Okay. Basically, thermal insulation materials, they're like to reduce the heat in the house. You do like sheeting of the thermal insulation before you put on the roofing materials now. Yeah.
All right. So just how crucial is, it for someone to get it right when it comes to roofing their houses?
You see, a roof is what represents your values, what represents your style, is what represents your position in the society. So basically, one thing you want to do right, and is the most of the major final part of the construction of the entire property. So it's one of the very most crucial things to get it right. Basically, to meet your budget, to meet your style, to meet your expectations, basically. Yeah, and a roof that gives you value for money over time.
And I'm glad that you mentioned the question of money. That is very, very important. Just how expensive is the process of roofing? And I mean, over time, do you suppose we're getting other options that come in as substitutes that are really good enough, such that you can say, well, I have my roof that is looking so good, but at the same time, is manageable in terms of cost?
Roofing is expensive and it's not expensive.
Okay.
So basically, there are kind of roofs available for everyone, which are able to meet your style. So basically, it's about, I think on average that the cost of roofing should start. I wouldn't like put a certain figure to tell you how much you need to spend. But let's say the most modern house that people are building right now is like a bedroom house. So building a 3-bedroom house, a cost of a roof would be between 100,000 shillings to even 800,000 shillings.
And I mean, definitely to depend with your structure, right?
Yeah, exactly. It depends on the style of your structure. It depends with the area you're building. It depends with the kind of the roofing you are going to use. And that is cost basically for the roofing sheeting only. But when it comes to framing, trusses now, those are other different costs. So basically it will cost between, let's say, 20,000 shillings to almost 1.2 million.
Okay.
Let's say for a 3-bedroom standard house, but the rest, but now if you want to use complicated kind of roofing, then it's gonna go higher definitely.
How complicated is complicated in this case? And I mean, you as Wigo, do you offer such that are complicated? And I'm sure complicated comes with some bit of, extra beauty.
That is true.
Is that what you mean?
That is true.
Yeah.
There's some kind of roofing where you need to use what you call SB boards,
Okay.
for example. There are zoning of areas. There are some areas you cannot put a certain kind of a roof because of the zoning of the zoning of the county governments. So therefore, those kind of areas, they use different kinds of roofs.
Okay. So what are some of the factors to consider now, and even before that, perhaps at what stage of construction do we then get to roof our houses? Because I have seen people who've just set up a structure and then there's the roof already, and then now they come to the finishing and all that. I have seen people who get into setting up a structure, sometimes get into the aspect of roofing, sometimes they get into the aspect of, even finishing and all that, such that the structure is all well set downwards, and then now they come to the roofing.
The roofing process starts with the plan first.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend you to build your structure and then decide on the roof later. You need to complete your roofing plans during the planning stage of a building, because roofing is one of the very most expensive factors in the roofing, and it is not done bit by bit. You see, building a wall, you can put 1 stone, 2 stones, 3 stones, until you get to that final ring beam point, whereby you need a roof. But for you to put a roof, you need to put it all at once. You put your trussing and you put your sheeting or the tiles, right? So basically the planning process should be at the stage before you even start the construction.
Okay.
Because number one, you need to establish what kind of a roof am I going to use. Number two, you need to budget for that roof, so that by the time you are finishing on the structure, even if there's some kind of changes in the cost, you already predicted that, because it could be like 5 to 10% more than what you had planned already.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people may start to build their homes once they go like at once. You build it like
from scratch all the way.
Yeah, within let's say like 1 month you're done with it. But others will build over time. So basically, you need to get it from the plan.
You need to get it right from the level of the plan. All right.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us to the question of some of the factors to consider when you are thinking about roofing. Like you rightfully put it, this has to be on the onset. When you're setting and planning the house from the onset, you need to understand this is how I'm going to go about it with the roofing, whether it's going to be flat roofed. And I mean, just how has this affected the business in terms of getting to understand? Because also we have realized that people are adapting this other side, or that as well is roofing.
Yeah, that's true.
That as well is roofing. So what are some of the factors to consider when you're thinking about roofing your structure, in as much as you started thinking of it from the onset as you are planning?
I think number one should be about your style. How do you define yourself?
Okay.
Basically, you may say, I don't know, I don't want to put it like in terms of careers, but it's about how now is your lifestyle, right? So you may decide between putting a regular roof, like the normal roof, or you may decide to put up a flat roof. A flat roof does not mean necessarily it's concrete. You can put concrete roof. Okay. You can put hidden kind of a roof, which you are using kind of sheeting metal, which is steel. Then you may also put like, you may also use rubber, this like rubber sheeting, like these ones. Right? So basically, that's the first thing to consider is your style. Number two factor to consider is the cost. Once you know what kind of style you want, can you be able to meet its cost? Then after that, then you also need to consider where are you building from. I mean, like you can build in a city, you can build in your rural home, you can build in an urban center. I mean, like people have different perceptions of where they want to build, how they want to build where they live. So basically, you may build in a city, you may spend a lot of time here, and when you build in the rural village, you're like, I don't spend a lot of time here, then I need to put something simple, kind of things. Yeah, then which other factor to consider? The skill, the workmanship available.
Yes.
You cannot decide to put a roof while there's nobody who is able to meet that kind of a skill required to put up that kind of a roof.
Okay. And I think that is very important. We'll be getting to the skill and getting the right fundis, because most of the people will tell you they get it wrong when it comes to that stage. But even before it goes to such a problem, I'm told there are instances where you look at the weather conditions, weather patterns of an area. Like for instance, the roofing style would not be the same in the United States in comparison to what we have in the country, depending on the weather patterns of this particular region. Is it that crucial?
That's also very crucial. Like, you know, like there are things like snowing. There are things like very strong winds that blow, like in the areas of Limuru. It's very cold, it's snowy, right? So what happens there, basically you may find people put in a very like high-pitched roofs. Basically by high-pitched roofs, it means whenever some kind of a snow falls, it's able to drain to the ground, right? There are areas where you put flat roofs, basically because of heat prevention, like the coastal areas. People like to use the concrete flat roofs, basically because of heat in coast. So, but now that's also changing nowadays, because now we have the technology to prevent heat from coming to the houses. Therefore, that's changing. So the weather issue, it's about the wind. If when you build in an area where it's like a lot of wind, you need to put a very steep kind of a slope so that you reduce the service contact with the wind and stuff like that. So I think that's how I would put it.
You mentioned something to do with an area.
Yes.
And so there are areas where you'd go and you're told, where we cannot put up such a structure, we cannot put up such kind of roofs. Is it the case?
That's the case, yes, that's true. Like in Nairobi, you can like go to Runda and build and put different roofs from what people have put in there, because it's been zoned to be done like that. Like areas like Karen, those places use different kinds of roofs. Okay.
All right. What informs this? It's just the neighborhood that decides that this is our style, or what?
You see, this was decided by the people who first lived there, and then the government zoning laws, urban planning. So there are those kind of things.
You can't go beyond.
It's about people who are already there, who are already pre-existing there. Then it's about the zoning, because those people inform the government that in their area this is what should happen. So it's about zoning.
There are there's a vast approach to construction today, to housing today, to setting up of buildings today, whether for commercial or for personal use. And I would want to assume, as the times change, then also we're having difference, in terms of changes, in terms of how we set up our roofings. I'd want to understand some more as to the roofing materials or options that are available, and as time goes by, which is trending right now, which is the best right now, which is this to go for in the event that a client now walks into WeGo and they tell you that I want to get advice, because most of the times, you find that these people are setting up structures for the first time, and therefore they really need to get guidance from those ones who understand.
Well, anyway, the kinds of roofing available right now in the market is we have a range from what you call the clay tiles. Even before that, there was what we call the wooden tiles, which were basically cut from the wood, and then you model that into kind of sheeting, and then you put like those like what we call them wooden shingles, right? But now that's already phased out. So after that, it came to these clay tiles. Clay tiles, they are made of soil and designed to look like tiles, right? Which are also still available in the market, which are still being used. But the problem with those is like the fact that they have a lot of weight. So whenever you're building, your cost of roofing is likely to go higher, because you need to load a lot of trussing and a lot of sheeting, and then you put the clay tiles. But the clay tiles are very affordable. They're also very good because they don't have any kind of noise. And then the problem is that after some, I don't talk about the problems, because all of them have problems.
Yes, they have fair share of troubles. That's true.
They have their own fair share of troubles. So basically from that, I think the modern kind of roofing now is whereby we use steel. We use steel coated. Steel coated, it could be mabati. Mabati is basically like steel, which has aluminum and zinc, and then coated with paint, or not coated with paint. And then you can have it like the kind of steel tiles which are sand coated. which now we now call the stone coated tiles. The stone coated metal roofing tile, that's the name.
Okay.
And in Kenya they have the very popular brands like by what you call Decra, which has been sold I think by Spencer Style. And then from there we have the regular mabatis now, like they're like the coated steel,
Yeah.
the coated aluminium, zinc, whatever, coated steel. All right. Then it can be painted. When it's painted, it can be regular painted or it can be textured finish. Yeah, I think that is what most people are using currently in the market. Then the next one is the stone coated tiles, which people are using. Then the next one is the clay tiles. So clay tiles have a fewer proportion of the market compared to the steel coated metal roofing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so most of the times people want to set up, structures and, think of the roof and say, I want something that is long term.
Yeah.
I want something that is going to sustain me for years to come, yeah? Before I think of roofing again, before I think of changing the sheets and getting something different. What then comes in to guarantee a person that?
You see, one thing is everything has like its own lifespan. We understand that. One of the factors about roofing is that whatever kind of a roof you need to put, number one, is very expensive. Therefore, it's not something you can just do away with in the next 1 or 2, 3, 4 years. All right. So basically, we estimate like any range between 15 to 20 years using the same product. It's good time. It's like sufficient. Okay. Yeah. Even if you are to replace after that, it would be advisable. But kind of roofing now, they last even out there to 60 years. Okay. Plus, you have seen some houses around here which are built by the colonial people, put on clay tiles, and they are still there. They're still there. Yeah, actually, Ojiji Road here. Yeah.
Does it require extra care for one to guarantee themselves that
of course,
now this will stay longer?
Number one, you need to keep on cleaning your roof from time to time. It gets stained a lot when it rains and dust, all kind of these things could lead to discoloration of your roof. But now the most kind of what that people have right now about products, it's about the ability to see the same color today, tomorrow after 15 years, 20 years, they need to see the same thing of what they bought before. Then there's issue of to do with rusting, which is implicated by the fact that whatever you're building, depends with the kinds of water. Yeah. Like in Mombasa, the water is salty there, right? So everything, even with the evaporation of the ocean water, it brings a lot of salts. So basically, when that interacts with the steel, it causes what you call rusting. Rusting. So when rusting happens, basically your roof, if you put a steel roof, basically it will just like poke holes on your roof. Basically that means you'll get rained on, dust will come into your house and this kind of stuff. So basically there's a way we do the protection by, it depends with the standards of zinc and aluminium quantities used per square meter of every steel metal. So you might find people in the coast area and people in Kisumu, they require different types of different classification of those roofing mabatis, right? So basically you find but now we do normally regular supplies of standard SZ150, which is basically 150 grams of zinc and aluminium per square meter of steel, which is standard for every area of the country. So we don't expect to have those kinds of problems. Our products normally give a warranty of up to around 15 years for the regular steel coated metal roofing tiles or the whatever roofing sheets or roofing tiles. Then we also give a warranty of up to around 25 years for the stone coated metal roofing tiles. Yeah. All right. So we can guarantee nowadays is not like the way it used to be before. Nowadays there's a lot of improving technology and therefore products are able to last longer. Yeah.
So you, as WeGo, what exactly do? You just sell? You get them from different manufacturers to sell them, or you are the ones who manufacture?
Number one, we started our business back in 2018, towards the end of 2018. So right now we can say we are like into our 5th year. And we started like on profiling. We this entire process of making the roofing materials is about profiling. Yeah. It's about like getting the materials and then designing to your patterns that you want. Let's say that we have different patterns. So therefore, we started like doing all those profilings all the way from 2019 up to current.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so it's just the question of getting them from somewhere else, and then you come.
Most of the steel in Kenya is imported.
Yeah.
So we may import steel from Egypt, we may import steel from China, and then from there we can bring it finished. We can bring it galvanized, and then we do the finishing here locally.
What stops us from having the same locally as opposed to getting to levels of importing? How tough is business? Because evidently, if we're not doing that, then it means there are things that are just not in order.
Yeah, in Kenya there's no steel. In Kenya there's no like steel. Every steel in Kenya is imported. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, does that make the business any difficult?
Of course, it's difficult. Like the ordering times of materials is different. Like you may wait for materials up to like 2 months. Yeah. The Kenya government is always changing the rates in Mombasa for importation. Rates before they were 25%. Now we're paying that 5% duty plus VAT and all that. So the cost has been increasing. The business has been tough too. Even like we can talk about like from 2020 up to now, the cost of roofing has increased by 20%.
Oh.
So it's not been easy.
Not been easy.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd wish that the government would do different? And perhaps I should have started by asking, I mean, are there notable difficulties in this business that, sometimes you wish the client could understand, but they really do not seem to?
Notable, yeah, of course, there are challenges like from ordering time to delivery times. For us, for example, we process orders in Nairobi and deliver countrywide. We have offices in Kukunda and Kisii and Nairobi. Those are the three places where now we operate from. But all orders are processed and delivered from Nairobi. All right. So there's a difference between the ordering time and delivery time, and sometimes delivery get to be changed. You may order materials from wherever you're ordering from, then the ship is coming, then the ship says, we've diverted the route. We'll be arriving there in, let's say, another 2 more weeks or another 1 month. All right? So like that, there are clients who have given business. What do you tell them?
Well, it becomes hard to convince them.
It becomes hard to convince them, but we still persevere anyway. Yeah.
Well, fitting is at the heart of this, and fitting it right. And I think that's what we asked. Yeah. Do we get the right fundis? Because one could get the best roofing material, they are the best, the structure, then they don't get it right. So first of all, as we go, do you have services where you give people fundis that would go fit these roofing materials for them once they buy? Or if not so, how do you then ensure that you get the right person for the job?
Yeah, in our business, we must have those kinds of people who are able to provide those kind of services. But we, as a company itself, we don't provide the service. What we normally do is just recommend. We can recommend ABCD will do the right job, and we can guarantee that. All right, we can monitor everything from the processing to delivery of the materials to guiding on how to install them. Yeah. And even problems comes up, we're able to address that as well. So we are able to recommend that, but you may find that the charges, you see, like. Everybody, when they're building their home, one of the biggest factors is cost. And everything you do, you also need to cut costs, all right? So that you can get the maximum return out of it. Therefore, in that process, you may find out that in Nairobi, yes, clients may be willing to pay much more money for the right skills. Yeah. But in the rural areas, they're not willing to pay that much because they'll believe that in the area, there are people already qualified to do that. Okay. Right? But now it happens that they roof the house and then it becomes problems, and then they complain to you, hey, my job was done wrong, please can you provide for me more sheets, can you like get me another person to do the job? What kind of things happen. But we do have fundis, people who know how to do the contractors who know how to do the job, that we already know, and we're able to recommend them to our various clients. Okay. Yeah.
Which out of the roofing materials that you've mentioned, or the ones that you have at Wigo, would be a little bit complicated to fit in or to just install?
Basically, all the tiled roofing. I think these are tiled roofings. All the tiled roofings are complicated to install. Yeah. So they may require a little bit more skills. Okay. As opposed to the normal sheeting that people have been used to like since ages. Yeah.
Are there ways that one can say increase the life of their roof apart from cleaning? You know, like you say, I've set this up, maybe there's some chemicals that you perhaps need to spray, or there's something that you do different that would get this roof, if at all not increase its lifespan, then definitely it will get it looking good year in, year out.
Yeah, I understand. One of the things to do, nowadays there are paints to paint the roofs, by the way, like they're available in the market right now, and the people who do that kind of a job. I think the main thing, there's nothing you can exactly do to prolong the roof.
Yeah.
What you need to do is make sure that your roof is always clean, and because other things like the steel, the galvanization, those were brought with the roof already, right? But how do you want to increase if you want to maintain the same kind of a look? It's basically number one, making sure that your roof is always clean. So maybe after some time, not always.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody will actually go to the roof.
That's true.
Mostly, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing you can do. But it doesn't have to do with increase of the lifespan of the roof. What it has to do is just preserving the look.
Preserving the look.
The look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Allow us to take a quick short break at Tom Zembi. I know there's still much that people would wish to learn about the question of roofing. And so if you have questions, then Tom is the right person to ask this morning. The hashtag is Morning Cafe at Linda_Lela TV47KE. You just, perhaps bought a house and you think you want to undo all the roofings or the roof that you have. You just want to let go of those ones that are old and get new ones installed. Or better yet, you are setting up a structure and you'd want to get to have advice on what would be the best roofing material to go for. Then he is the guy. I can see some of them that are fitted like 101% with solar. And I think the world is going green, the world is going solar. I'd want to understand the chemistry behind the aspect of roofing, getting it right, and also the installation of solar systems, but that should be after this break.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have your soul feel the vibe.
Actually, for us to make a wheelchair, we have to take measurements of the user.
After doing my assessment, I get to know the parent, I get to know the heaviness she's carrying.
Disability comes at different stages of life.
How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Tom Zembe, the manager of Wigo Group Limited, is with us this morning. They specialize on roofing materials. He spoke about, fascia boards you do? Fascia boards, you do gutters, or it's just roofing and gutters,
We do roofing and gutters.
And gutters are pretty much more or less like, roofing aspects, because it's usually about the final touches right at the top of a structure. And so we're talking about roofing, when it comes to the question of construction and the factors to consider when you are doing this so that you get it right, you do not end up complaining. And, just like the tiles that you fit down on the floor, sometimes when you don't get it right, we're just talking about how you should get the right person to install them or to fit them in for you. If you don't get the right person, then they will bowable, they'll perhaps, you literally not like the experience all the same. and we just get to understand whether there's a difference of setting up roofings. You could be asking yourself why I'm looking at this direction. Yes, it's because there's some structures there, and so they're helping me, package my thought. And so when it comes to roofing commercial, structures as well as, those ones that are for personal use, is there a big difference?
Yes, a very big difference. Commercial structures basically have very big roofs. Others could be flat roofs anyway, but the ones that actually do have the normal roofing, they are very big roofs basically. So, and also walling, because some commercial structures also use like the same roofing materials to put up the walls, right? The commercial structure could be an industry, could be a warehouse, storage facility. Those are the kind of thing. Those are the kind of structures whereby in commercial our products get to be used now. So, find commercial structures will use kind of heavy gauge kind of roofing sheets, and therefore those are different from the regular. Because for residential, the kind of roofing materials used are lighter. They're lighter because they don't have a lot of support in weight.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at these structures here, and there's actually one building that is covered totally with solar panels.
Oh, there's
yes, that one, and then that one, and there's that one right there back, covered totally with solar panels. What does that mean? And anytime you're selling these roofing structures or these roofing materials, is this put into consideration because the world, after all, is going green?
Yeah, it's going green. That's true. Yeah, one of the main things to have a kind of a roof, number one, is to tap energy. You can tap energy by installing solar panels on your roof, and then the other issue is to collect water. Water you can use for domestic use. I think that's the main use of water from your roof. Right? So you may, our sheets, you're able to install solar. You can be able to install solar on them, and it's going to work okay. But use heavy gauge roofing, not just the normal light gauge, and then that's the point. But nowadays there's a new technology whereby you can put up a completely solar roof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't think that is yet here right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that then would take business away from you, don't you think?
Not so. We'll also adapt to the same.
Okay. You'll also adapt to that, and then you bring them, yeah?
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
All right. In terms of lighting, because I'm also told that there are instances where the roof is very instrumental. So if you get it right with the roof, then you can be guaranteed that inside the house, then you get proper lighting and all this. So how different is this, and what are some of these sheets that would be helpful if you really want to get to enjoy some bit of natural light?
Number one, to get light into your house, you get through the windows on your walls. That's one thing, or another opening on your walls. Then you can also construct roof windows too as well. Yeah,
roof windows. Okay. Roof windows. I'm trying to understand that. Okay.
There are windows which can be installed on the roof.
Okay. All right. So that also can be very good.
Close them. Yeah, you can also leave some parts open, and then you can put glass. You can put what you call polycarbonate sheets, which allow light to come in. You can also use what you call fiberglass on your roofing. Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many ways to get light into the house.
All right. Okay. Are there any specific, procedures or steps that one needs to consider when putting up roofs? And I know you're not a funder in this, but perhaps you could have an idea.
Procedures.
Yes.
I think procedure number one is to know the direction of the structure that you're putting up the roof.
Okay.
All right. Then from there, there's a way you lay the roof. You lay the roofing materials. You don't just lay them. You don't just put a nail. No. There's a procedure basically. It's about how high is the roof, and then what's the direction of the roof. What is the direction of the prevailing winds which are coming through to? Yeah.
All right, that's amazing. And so once again, we come back to Wigo Groups Limited. Where are you people located?
Oh, we have office in Nairobi.
You said you have others in.
Yeah. We do have a branch in Ukunda. We also have a branch in Kisii. Those are the three main places we operate from. Our head office is located at Gateway Mall, Syokimau, Mombasa Road. We have a profiling plant in Ruai, Eastern Bypass. Yeah. And then the other centers are basically sales points where people will go see the products, they order, The order is sent to Nairobi, and then we process and deliver to them to their, we deliver to the customers' locations, basically, to their sites.
Okay. And when we say that the world is going green, there's been that aspect of more of adapting of UPVC or PVC materials for construction and everything. Has that also been appreciated for, you know, the Wigo company or the Wigo groups?
We don't have any PVC roofing currently.
At all?
Yeah, all we have.
Are there likelihoods that we could go to that direction in future? It becomes tricky?
They are already, the PVC roofing is already available in the country, but it hasn't worked yet. So I don't think so. But what you have in the PVC roofing is what you call the polycarbonate sheets, basically. Those are used for roofing. Those are basically used for what can I say? For outside, for lighting, basically. They are not like used majorly. They are for they have a special application purposes, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we still have a long way.
But they are not major roofing products. They are just used as part of a roof. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But in Kenya, I think the only roofing currently available is the metal roofing, nothing else. Okay. Plus the what you call bituminous shingles.
Bituminous shingles, which ones are these?
These are meant from bitumen.
Oh, all right, okay. And those ones that you say are ceramic and all that, right?
Yeah.
Clay, made of clay and all that. Okay, let's talk about the gutter.
The gutters?
Yes, the gutter is very, very important. Most of the people do not put that into consideration. Just how crucial
Actually, one thing is about the gutter is people consider that as the last step of their construction, or after they've finished their entire project, they even forget about it. You know, by the time you're done with your roof, you're like tired. You know, I want to finish this and rest. I want to put up my windows. I want to put up my floor. I want to put up my ceiling. Then from there, you're like, I want to live in my house. Yeah. Sometimes you tend to forget that.
That bit.
Forget about that.
But just how important?
Because for people assume the function of the gutter is basically to collect water from the roof, which is true. That's the main purpose.
Yeah.
To your storage. But also the purpose of the gutter is also to protect your fascia boards from wetness.
Okay.
All right. It's also about to protect your walls down here. You see, every house starts from the bottom, right? So it's about to protect your base, like because if water drops from the roof every time to the ground, it causes what you call the splash effects. The splashing. So the soil maybe gets splashed to the wall. You need to repaint that maybe after some time. You know, and then if the water gets to the fascia boards, most of the fascia boards around here, they are made of wood. They're wooden, and therefore if water like gets to interact with the fascia board too many times,
over time it breaks.
It starts to rot from inside. That's the point. Then you may need to replace the fascias again.
Okay. Painting of roofs, and especially these ones that we call iron sheets. A good move towards protecting them from rusting, because rusting has been quite a big problem. It's a question of
paint has nothing to do with rusting.
Paint is just about beauty.
It's about beauty.
And sometimes is it necessary? If you were to advise someone, would they rather maintain the original color of the iron sheet, or they should paint?
We can recommend painting, because sometimes painting is cheaper. Changing the roofing sheet is expensive.
All right. So when you have it after a while and you think maybe it started rusting, the best option would be painting.
When it rusts, you just need to get done with it.
And get a different one.
To get a different roof.
But just how do we address this question of rusting?
Rusting is about getting the right materials. Like, for example, I've told you about, you know, in the market we have all the standards from a Z25 all the to Z150. All right. Those are like how many what is the density of the coating of zinc and aluminum coating. You know, roofing sheets, iron sheets are made of steel, basically. Steel is made from iron, right? And then steel is prone to rusting when exposed to weather elements like water, right? So what now you need to do is you need to provide a coating which prevents direct interaction of water with steel, in which case now this is aluminum. This is zinc I mean. Aluminum basically for flexibility of the materials. So when you provide a little bit amount of zinc, then you're not solving this problem. When you provide a lot, you're solving the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why now we are saying, like, in our case, we have materials of SZ150. Yeah.
Okay. Setting up the ceiling boards, and in relation to the kind of roofing materials that you have, which one goes first? It should be the roofing, and then you come to the ceiling.
Yeah. It's actually when they're doing the roofing, they set up the structure for the ceiling at the same time. Some do, some don't. Some can set up later. So I think the first step is is obviously the roofing part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most of the ceiling boards are that we have, the gypsum boards, the UPVC, like you say.
Yeah.
Those ones that are cheap, those ones that are tiles, would go with any kind of roofing material.
That's correct.
They would go with any kind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, amazing. I hope that you have picked something that would be helpful for you if you are setting up that structure. And so, Tom, before we get to, do they get a hold of you in the event that maybe they'd want to go and check on what you have?
Clients?
Yes.
Of course, clients, we welcome them to call us anytime they are willing to do business with us. Then you can also find us on our website or through our website or through the social media pages that we already running.
You need to mention them.
Oh.
Or you don't know them offhand.
Of course, I do.
Managers can be managers. Sometimes they just say, well, that one is for the marketers.
Yeah, I understand. I'm also a marketer too. So basically, our website we have at Wego Group, wegogroup.co.ke. Wego is WEGO group.co.ke. From there, people can go there. They can see what we have. They can see the prices. They can choose what they want, and then from there they can engage us for further discussions. Then they can also reach us through phone numbers. There's one phone number which is 0718-785-799, and there's another one 0716-107-428. And they can also go to our Facebook page, which is Wego Group K Limited. Yeah.
And of course, check them out. Asante sana, Tom Zimbei, for speaking to us. Tom Zimbei, once again, is a manager of Wego Group Limited, where they get to deal with roofing, tiles, sheets, generally everything to do with roofing materials.
With roofing materials, correct.
It was good having you this morning, and of course, it was our conversation revolving around roof construction and some of the key factors that you want to consider when you are thinking about that. And to go with, this is personally what I have learned. Tom says it's important that from the onset you set up, as you set up the plan of the structure, just get to know how you plan to set up your roof eventually. It would be very, very helpful. In as much as it's one of the last stages of construction, it does not mean then that it comes or it's thought about on that very last stage. Asante sana for speaking to us, and we close it this very hour, as we look forward to see you again tomorrow, also later in the evening, as we also get to hear our presidential candidates telling us what it is that they have in form of what they want to do to the